Hi guys, it's Dev Money here. Some of you know me as Emmanuel, and welcome back to Remote Tech Africa and Remote Tech Global. And I said I shouldn't say Africa Global because there are a lot of people a few other people who probably looked at this video and don't want me to just leave it at Africa. Yeah, and today we want to talk about breaking into tech because it was one of the things people asked me about. They kept saying that, okay, what if I am not, I'm not a tech person. I probably came from a different background, like um, let's say political science, agric, or business. How do I get into tech? Now, there are two sides of it. Okay, so what I'll say is that you could break into tech. Some did, let's say, computer science, computer engineering, and all of that, and they still want to break into tech. So that's a different conversation, because for such people, they can adapt to the steep learning curves. So what are some of the topics that have, or some of the roles that have steep learning curves? So for example, being a cloud developer, right? Or doing what we call DevOps, doing software engineering. For software engineering, there's the back end, front end, and then and even DevOps. So then there are aspects about cloud computing, and so those ones we can say have a bit of a curve, because for software engineering you probably have to master some few languages, right? So we can say they have a bit of a steep curve, and they're not too friendly when you are transitioning from a different background, But those who are in the field already probably have had some theoretical exposure, so they can learn it quite well and quite faster. But then there are other people who are interested in tech, and then they want to know, where do we start from? I'm hearing about this tech thing. How do I break into tech? So this video is for you, and then it's also for people who are also probably had a computer science background, but they want to do a little better because they are struggling with their steep learning curve. So, for example, it's not everyone who is cut out to be a software engineer, because that takes time. It takes a lot of expertise, a lot of practice, and then a lot of experience. Yeah. So I want to share a few areas in tech that do not require a strict, or don't get me wrong, it doesn't require maybe a full computer science background, full IT background, but with a little consistency, a little learning and experience, you can get there, right? So I'm about to start. Okay. Now there are a few of them. So let me start with, in no particular order. Okay, I'll start with tech sales. Okay. Now tech sales is one of the very, very emerging, let me say, it's one of the emerging areas, right, that a lot of people from the marketing and then sales backgrounds want to go into. So that's tech sales. With tech sales, think about the normal sales, but in a technical area. So trying to sell, let me give an example. Like, let's say, market a tech company's product or a tech company's software to a lot of its end users. So that's really what tech sales is about. So if you are from a marketing background and marketing and sales background, and you've probably been doing very well, transitioning into tech is not so difficult, actually, because there's something called tech sales, right? So you can look into tech sales, and then you should be able to find some areas in tech sales. Actually, it's really emerging. Like, I've been seeing some very fat and very big salaries in tech sales, and I go like, wow, that's sales and marketing in tech. That's actually tech sales. So you should consider tech sales if you are from that kind of background. Okay. So that's about tech sales. Then the next thing I'll talk about is project management. A lot of people also have project management backgrounds, okay, and you can apply that if you have like the PMP certificate, right, like the general project management, then you can consider coming into tech project management. However, that has a little bit of a curve because you're probably looking at managing technical projects, right? So you should probably understand some of the nuances in tech, like let's say front end, back end, the DevOps, and then CI/CD, and that kind of thing. So that's what we say that someone from a project management background needs to like know some of these things. And I'll always say that when you have project management in your portfolio, it's actually not too difficult, right? Because you're probably just transitioning from managing a real world project in a different way or in a business project and then coming to tech. So you're just going to learn on the tech stuff, right? And then you bring that into your project management, tech project management career. Now, there's one little thing about project management. I see a lot of people wanting to do project management, and they tell me that, Emmanuel, I've been doing project management. I'm not getting jobs. I've written my PMP and stuff like that. And the truth is that most project managers or most project management roles actually look out for experience because they feel like the more projects you have managed, the better you are as a project manager. So how do we trust you to say that take on this very huge project or take on this very huge tech project if you've not managed so much? Now it creates a difficulty. It's the popular cliche about asking for years of experience when the person just all the person just has is their knowledge. So how do we look at that? So I always tell people that you have to start with internships, and build it up little by little, experience little by little. And then once through your internships and then maybe some low jobs you might consider low, manage a few little tech projects here and there. And your networking, you can be able to land a very good project management role. In that sense, it also builds your experience to say that, okay, now I have a good project management role, then I can look into bigger ones, so that's the tricky area about project management. You can write the certificate, you can write and get a certificate, write the exams and get a certificate and all of that, but they're always looking out for experience, and you can't blame them. Who want to put you on a hundred or let's say hundreds of thousands of dollar project with no experience? You
get it?
So build experience little by little. But like I said, it's one of those areas you can break into without a full IT background or computer science background. Now, there's also another emerging area that a lot of people I've seen that is really trending, and I think it's worth looking at. It's called products management. Okay, so product analysts, you see head of product, products. There are other roles here. So usually you see product analyst, head of product, blah blah blah. So product management, product management. Product management is also a very good area to look at if you want to break into tech, because it's coming up. A lot of people are going into it, and it's just based on managing products for a company, like at a very high commercial level. So if you are from maybe a business background, you understand, let's say, products and stuff like that, you can bring that into tech. You're actually looking for that because usually there's always a blend between the business knowledge, right, and then product development. So that's combination is there. So try and if you are someone from a business background and you have business knowledge or business development, it's also products and working with the product team and product management is also an area to consider. And then usually you start off as a product analyst, then you go to like senior product analyst, then that kind of thing. It's usually in that vein. Then head of product, so product guys, because I recently saw a very huge product role, and I was really, really surprised. Ask myself that I didn't know that product is also a very, very interesting area like this, and with a lot of cash options. Now, the reason why it's actually very good or very important to businesses is that products have life cycles, and if you start looking at product management, you see that the life cycle of a business or the longevity of a business depends on product. So it's actually a very important area to most tech companies right now, because what will make WhatsApp relevant or what will make Instagram relevant for the next 10 years depends on the product team, actually, if you think about it. So product is also a very good area that you can look at. Then let's go into the other parts, which are not, they probably have a little bit of a steeper learning curve, but they're not too deep. They don't go as deep as the software engineering part. We can talk about data science and data analytics. It's also a very emerging key area right now for breaking into tech. Data analysts are quite sought after because most of these huge tech companies use data science and statistics for future predictions, and to take a lot of decisions, right? So data science, data analytics, it's now a very hot area. In fact, working in these remote roles or working in foreign companies, I don't mean they're local companies, but I see that most of these foreign companies make a lot of data-driven decisions, right? And it's a very, very, very important aspect of their business. Look, they don't even launch anything without running data tests, like to see that this is actually bringing us incremental impact. You understand? So data science, data analytics is a very great area for anyone looking to break into tech. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy, don't get me wrong, but it's sort of, it's softer.
Will you keep quiet?
Some of my data analysis friends will come for me right now, but it's a bit, it's something you can, with a little Excel, Power BI, and stuff like that, you can start, working towards those areas. So start considering that if you are good with numbers and working with large data sets, large data numbers, you can start considering that, okay? And trust me. And the key thing I want to add about data analysis, actually, by research, it's one of those roles that I least applied for, right? Google released some research statistics, and I was quite amazed that it's one of the low barrier of it, because people are always chasing the software engineer jobs, and then something else, cloud, and data was just left there. So those who get into data actually stand a big chance, okay? Now, another area which was also left out a lot when the software craze and tech craze came was cybersecurity, right? So cybersecurity is now actually very big, like very, very, very big. You don't even want to mess with it. Like, there was a time when cybersecurity was just, but now, because of the internet age and the rate at which everything is online, cybersecurity is one of the biggest areas that you can think of. Now, it has a steep end, but it's relatively, I'll say that, friendlier when you are breaking in, because it's not like you're learning a language or something. There's a steep end to it when you have to learn the Linux areas of it, and then the networking parts of it, and then everything can be difficult, but some of them have a little, soft entrance, which you can. So it's I dare say, and I know some people will come for me, but I can tell you that if you're not looking at mainstream tech, like let's say core, like software engineering, cloud and cybersecurity, it's also another way to, because I know some people who told me that they were struggling with coding, right? Struggling with web development, apps and all of that. They went to cybersecurity. At least I know 2 examples, and they are doing very, very well, right? In the future, I'll like to put them on an interview for you to like meet them. So if you're considering security, and now they're even more important than ever, because everything online has a risk of exposure, right? So most of these huge companies need cybersecurity experts, right, to safeguard their data and their operations. So cybersecurity is a big thing now. So you can continue, and it comes with networking. There's a time where in the past networking was just learning about laying LAN cables and all of that. So networking is also a big thing now. I mean, it depends on how you position yourself and then learn some of these things. You should be doing very, very well. So that's about networking and cybersecurity. Then let's go into some other parts which are also have a soft tech entrance. There's digital marketing. Okay, it's not the regular tech that but it's also in the tech. Like when I say regular tech, I mean like the web development, the app development stuff. Maybe it's data, but it also has a brand. So let's talk about the media side, UI, UX, stuff like that. So those who develop brands, like in terms of designing and all of that, also have a very sought after space now. It's just a bit of a care, because usually people don't know how to brand themselves to make them look attractive, but people with very good portfolios like that show their works are very sought after by some of these companies, because you can see a foreign company and they have a full like departments for brand identity, right? So that's also very key. It's usually tied with the social media marketing, because usually brands want to know how they appear outside, and to appear to the end user. So social media market and digital marketing, which is also there are courses on that. There are learning materials for that. You can take a look at it if you have some interest in that. Trust me, it's also a very good area, because most businesses want to stay relevant. They want to reach to a lot of people. They want to scale in terms of like advertisements. They don't want people just to hear about them in where the business was started, but they want to go beyond their borders. Then they rely on digital marketers and promoters, right, to be able to like expose them to the world. So it's a big area, right? So anything about brands, brand identity, media, it's also a very good way of breaking into tech. That being said, like I'll just come back a little to talk about that. The media people, sometimes you see someone who's like a video person or a graphics person, they feel like, oh, not for me. But look, you can land a very good foreign job, and then it's going to change a lot of things, because they are very concerned. For example, if you take an app, why should there be blue here? Why should there be red here? Why should everything has to speak to something? Or a very good color combination is what some of these companies are looking. Not some, most companies, they don't joke with that. The logos, everything, even with logos, they'll do one for the website, they'll do one for of different sizes. So you can have one logo in about 16 different sizes. How it looks on the iPhone, how it looks on Samsung, the Android, how it looks on the web, how it looks on. So it's a very big area. It's just that most people don't know how to like play into these areas. So you need to learn about it, like what UI UX is, and then designing presets for apps and stuff like that. It's also a very big area. And like I said, it's not a very technical area. It's just for those who are very good at designs, graphics and stuff like that. They can focus in those areas. Now, another area is customer support. Most of these huge companies rely on customer heavily, right? Rely on very good customer support, and then you can translate that into technical support. So there are different levels, like let's say level 1, level 2. Let me give this no let me say there's a caveat to this, right? Because for customer support roles, there's usually a flood on them. Everyone knows that, oh, for customer support, once I know and I can support, people, it's just phone call. So there's usually a flood on them, right? And breaking into them is a bit difficult. So, but I'm just letting you know that it's also one of the areas. Those who really excel at customer support and getting more customer support roles are those who are multilingual. Take note, some, because there are people who can speak French. I know I met someone who speak French, speak Spanish, speak Chinese, right? And I felt like that person can easily market themselves much better to foreign companies because they have what the company is looking for. When they have support requests coming in some of these languages, this person can easily adapt. So that is the side of customer support roles. And with customer support, there's technical support, level 1, level 2, and then before we have the senior support engineers, senior support engineers. They come in to support software engineering issues, but those are a little bit like software engineers who are probably not maybe very as technical as the main software engineers, but they do the support aspect so that the main engineers can focus on core work. And even in some companies, they are actually software engineers, right? So that's about support engineers. But it's also when you are not too technical, at least you have a little bit of tech understanding, you can go into support engineering. So that's what you should know about these areas. But customer support is really one of the areas that you can look at. And if you are looking at customer support, then you should look at being bilingual, being multilingual. If you can speak French, what you should know is that some in the French-speaking countries are always looking for very good English speakers, and some in the English-speaking countries are always looking good for very good French speakers. So it goes here and there. So these are some of the things you can consider. Now, there are a lot of other areas, right, that you can look at. Even teaching online, teachers who are ready to teach online is also there, but it depends on what you are teaching. Online teaching, right? There's also a very good area. I can tell you, let's say you're teaching web development and you're very good at it, there's a market for you, right? So you need to know how to position yourself and brand yourself very well for the foreign market. And that's one of the things that or for the global market, right? You can't do certain things in certain ways. So a lot of people who I've spoken to who are bilingual and they are not even harnessing that bilingual nature of their, I know someone who speaks Spanish and speaks Chinese, which I think is very good. And maybe to me is good, maybe to the foreign market is not good. But when I've actually seen her having a conversation with a Chinese person and it was very good and they were flowing quite well. So you can actually use that to market yourself into let's say a customer support role that needs Chinese and needs English, and that's how you can break in. So I've shared a few areas. You see, I'll list them down in the video. There are areas where if you want to break into tech, they have a bit of a softer approach, right? It's not so steep a learning curve, for lack of a better word, right? Or lack of a better way to put it. So consider them. There are others. I'll be sharing them from time to time in various posts on my social media, etc. But you can consider some of these, start learning them, and then take certifications on them. And then when you do that, then you attempt to find jobs in these areas, right? By the time you see, it can become a full career. So don't look down on these things. Let's say, I saw product analysts, they're actually doing very well, and most companies are in digital marketing, they're doing very well. So you can start looking at them, start learning on them, and then let's see how it goes. So these are just a few. There are others which I can share, but these are areas which are really catching fire now in big tech. And then also, let me just add the new one that has come up lately, AI, stuff related to AI. So, but I mean, that can also be very tricky, so a little technical. So yeah, you can start some AI training if you want to, and it should have very good benefits. So thank you for sticking with me till the end. If you want more videos for me to go deep into some of, there's also been a very big confusion between product and project management. So I think one of my friends said I should do a video on that. Maybe I'll do a video on that today, but they are two different things, right? So take a look at these areas, learn something on them, see which one is more flexible with you, see which one you can actually do and learn on easily, all right? And then try to see if you can carve a career around it. Till then, stay tuned for my next video. I'm juggling between which to release, but based on popularity, I'll release the next one for you. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Yes, if I don't reply on the same day, I should definitely reply to you on the next day. If you like this video, just give it a like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video to someone. You have a friend, brother, relative somewhere who needs this and wants to break into it. Share this video to them. I'll see you soon. Bye.